Good morning. Thank you for watching the Weather Now 11 o'clock edition. Kicking off right now, 11:06. Want to give you the tropical update first. And yes, we're going down to Hawaii, talking about Major Hurricane Lane. Sustained winds, last update about 130 miles per hour. Live look, though, right now from Hawaii. This is from our Raycom sister station there in Hawaii. I believe their main headquarters is on Hilton Head, or not Hilton Head, Honolulu. There we go. And you can see rain heavily falling there. Camera shaking just a little bit, but it is up a tower. So, of course, winds higher as you increase in height. So it is a little bit gusty there. Quite a bit of wet weather. Bringing you back to the State of Touch Security First Alert Live radar and satellite. So we're looking at radar, rain, and the white there, satellite clouds. And the eyes becoming a little bit more poorly defined. Of course, you can still see it well on radar, but on satellite, not quite as clear as it was. Kind of visually indicating that weakening process, but right now already drenching the Hawaiian Islands, especially from Honolulu down south and eastward to the Big Island. Hilo area has already seen quite a bit of rain, 15 to 20 inches. But mind you, there is some elevation there, and that's typically one of the wettest spots in all of North America, that eastern and northeastern side of the Big Island, including Hilo. But that south and eastern flow around the Hawaiian Island chain is going to continue to drench the islands. The biggest threat is going to be from widespread heavy rainfall, flash flooding. Remember, mountainous terrain, all that rain falls up at the top and down low, and it rushes down through the kind of confined rivers that they have here. Not exactly like the rivers here, which tend to be wider and kind of flatter, and they move pretty slowly. And the overall track, not much has changed here, continuing to weaken. And I'm actually going to edit this new movement in coordinates here. It's moving off to the north-northwest now at a pretty good clip. Not moving too fast, about 7 miles per hour northwestward, and that has actually slowed a little bit as it's making more of that turn. But then as it kind of shoots off to the west, it'll probably pick up speed once again. So zooming down into the track, still not expected to make a direct landfall on the Hawaiian Islands. In fact, the Big Island, several islands here completely removed from the cone, but getting close enough to bring, tropical storm force winds. Technically, there are hurricane warnings in here, but much more of a rain, a flooding event for the Hawaiian Islands as this continues to steadily weaken and then turn westward and shoot kind of away from the Hawaiian Islands. So that's what we're watching right now as far as Hawaii is concerned. Back home, and I'm going to give you an update on the Atlantic now, and I'm sure we have a lot of questions coming in talking about the tropics first. But first, going to give you that update on the Atlantic, a low risk of development with the tropical wave that will be leaving Africa here and heading and kind of emerging into the Atlantic over the next few days. In fact, they've lowered the chance of development here. Going to update the graphic. I was just looking at my phone from the Hurricane Center. That is a brand new update, new information. And this will probably fluctuate. Again, no huge changes here, but they have lowered the chance of development to 10% over the next 5 days. Now, conditions in general, marginally favorable for some development. The center of the wave is about here, still over land, but heading westward. And here's the deal. This is typically the part of the globe that we watch for tropical development, the MDR, main development region, kind of in this vicinity here, August, September. We're looking way out there in the Atlantic for possible tropical development. And of course, no surprise, we're looking here as it moves off to the west-northwest towards the Caribbean, and looking way out in the future here, like 7 to 10 days from now. They continue to bring this off to the west-northwest, whatever this becomes, maybe nothing, maybe just a tropical wave. We see plenty of those every hurricane season, often towards the Caribbean, through the Lesser Antilles, through the islands here, the Greater Antilles, and in that general vicinity. But again, beyond that, so much is unknown. Just a time to keep a casual eye on the tropics. Of course, we'll be crunching the numbers for you, updating the forecast, passing along information, not just on TV. Tropical updates 10 minutes past the top of every hour, the news at daybreak. Also updates as needed in the evening. And we'll also keep you updated in the WTOC weather app and at WTOC.com. Just click by clicking on the Hurricane Center tab. So now I'm going to the WTOC TV Facebook page, going to read your questions as they come in, and I have to look at them on my phone to make sure that I catch what is coming in. Stromayer, of course, prayers for all of them. Flynn, hello down in Jessup. Thank you for watching. I'm going to get to today's forecast in just a moment. Hey there, Terry. Rebecca, not fall just yet, but a little bit cooler this morning. Janet says praying for Hawaii. I am as well. Hopefully everyone is doing well out there. Cindy, Lisa, hello to you. Hello to Joe. Joe. Hello to Patty, waving back at you. Now let's get to today's forecast, and we're going to start with a map that I think most of us are going to like. I'm looking at my weather computer right now, and the weather graphic, excuse me, that I'm loading up is the difference in temperature from yesterday. Now, some folks a little warmer than yesterday because remember all those nasty clouds we had mid-morning yesterday kept us cool for a while longer. That's the reason coastal areas are a little bit warmer than this time yesterday. Inland areas, though, a little bit cooler than this time yesterday because they had the sun yesterday. We are warmer along I-95 because it's sunny outside, at least pretty sunny, quite a bit of sunshine, but yesterday we had a lot of cloud cover. But I don't think today, in fact, we know today is not going to end up necessarily warmer than yesterday. Current temperatures right now, we are in the mid-80s, most spots 85, the city of Savannah, 81 Swainsboro, 83 Waycross, 84 Jessup, upper 80s down here Brunswick, and 87 St. Simon, 79 though in Walterboro. You can really tell where there's a little bit of cloud cover and where the slightly cooler, drier air is really in place. So yeah, we're warm today, but here's the deal. We're going to remain pretty comfortable compared to the past several days today. Heat indices, I'm going to load this one up for you, are going to be in the low to mid 90s versus the lower 100s that we've had the past several days. So it's loading up right now. These are actual temperatures you see in front of you right now, mid 80s, maybe feeling like 88, 89 out there in many communities right now. But going forward through the afternoon, heat indices, in the this data is a little wonky, not sure why it's varied like that, but temperatures, it feels like temperatures in the lower 90s. So I know it says 82, it's not going to be feeling that cool. I think this model is anticipating maybe a shower to move over where this is selected Savannah, and that's why it's showing it being a little bit cooler, but in reality that's not going to be the case. We'll have showers, but it's not going to feel that cool out there. So low to mid 90s is what it will feel like this afternoon, not the actual high temperature. But like I mentioned, we do have an isolated rain chance today, 11 a.m. We're mostly dry right now. We are dry, partly cloudy. But notice this afternoon, 2, 3 o'clock, we're going to light up the sea breeze just a little bit. Yesterday, though, we didn't see much developing, so it's a little bit questionable as to whether stuff develops. That's why rain chances are so low today, only about 20%, because even if stuff manages to develop, again, not a sure thing, it's going to be really isolated. So chances of rain are relatively low, but something that's not zero we'll be watching there. And it does look like the sea breeze, because remember, the cold front moved through yesterday, or what is left of it is kind of moving through. We have a northwesterly offshore breeze that's going to pin up the sea breeze here right along the coastline. That good old sea breeze that likes to roll in and fire storms from the coast spreading inland in the afternoon. It's going to be pinned up there east of I-95. So this is the spot that may see a thunder shower or two develop this afternoon. Two questions though. Does it actually end up developing? A little bit questionable. And what we know is that even if stuff does develop, it's going to be pretty isolated, few and far between. Plenty of dry space in between the isolated showers and thunderstorms. But that's going to be the case. Activity maybe trying to move a little bit further inland, diminishing this evening after sunset. So still a little bit of that summertime thing, but not expecting any significant issues out there. Plenty of dry time. Dennis, not sure what that comment's about. I'm going to have to do some scrolling back. It says, Cutter Martin ain't taking me nowhere. Well, okay, Sophie, got my hopes up with that 82. Michael wants to know about the weekend. Melanie waving back at you. Let's bring in that extended forecast here. Low temperatures first. I'm going to break down low temperatures for the next 7 days. Notice the trend. We begin probably tomorrow, Friday morning, kind of a weekend day. If you have the day off, maybe a 3-day weekend. Friday beginning with the most comfortable temperatures out of the entire 7-day forecast. Upper 60s, lower 70s tomorrow morning. Yes, still a little bit humid, but not as humid as it's going to get later in the weekend on into next week as we warm back to lows in the mid-70s. Tony says, out in your yard, I came to see the weather, take a water break. See you, Mac, then back if it's not coming my way. Yeah, I think you're going to be pretty good out there. Let's see. Tiffany says, I have unfollowed this page 5 times. Please stop stalking me. Not sure what to tell you. Maybe you thought you unfollowed. You may need to unlike. Not sure what the deal is there, Tiffany, but I wish you were enjoying the forecast. I guess that is not what you're after. Apologize for that, but it's up in the top right-hand corner of the page. You can click on the unfollow button there. So Temperatures in the low 70s tomorrow morning, pretty much low 70s Saturday morning, most comfortable Friday and Saturday mornings. Then the muggies return a little bit. And going deeper into the extended forecast here, folks asking about the weekend. Hey there, Donna. It is going to be a decent weekend. We do have scattered showers in the forecast, maybe a few thunderstorms here, especially Saturday into, it still does include Sunday. Rain chances starting to climb Friday, still isolated to scattered. Saturday looking scattered, then isolated to scattered again Sunday. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the heat builds back in. Excuse me, high pressure building in. High pressure is building in from the east, moving to the west and kind of building in. That's sinking air, and that's going to kind of put the kibosh on rain chances a little bit, maybe some isolated stuff next week, but temperatures with more sunshine and the high pressure moving in, building in, back in the low 90s. We're probably going to stay in the upper 80s to near 90 here for the next few days. Tiffany in Colorado. Well, I don't know what to tell you, Tiffany. You can unfollow top right if you don't want to follow updates. Facebook is a tricky thing, but it shouldn't be sending you these alerts if you did unfollow the page. Dennis said, WTOC said you were going to take us to Hawaii. It was just a figure of speech, just letting you know that I was going to start off on Hawaii so there wasn't any confusion, letting you know there's not anything in the Atlantic that is imminent, that I was over there in the Pacific. That's all I meant by that. Ha, 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 funny joke. Jeannie, thanks, Cutter. You're welcome. Michael's watching from Afghanistan. Glad you can get a check on the forecast. I don't know if you're from here, maybe overseas. If you are, thank you for your service. If you're over there serving in the military, glad you can check back in on the good old forecast here. And if you have any weather questions, even if it's about something in the Middle East, we can try to dive into that a little bit, kind of expand the forecast, look beyond this side of the pond. So note here, the lunchtime period, going to be pretty decent. 11 o'clock, we are still dry, looking decent through noon. We have a little bit of cloud cover out there. Again, some folks seeing more sunshine than other areas. It's keeping temperatures just a little bit cooler. And as we look at satellite, going to bring this a little bit closer to home here. Notice how clouds are not that widespread. A little bit of cloud cover here, the Augusta area, Allendale County, over in Burke County. Also some here south of the Altamaha River. Kind of a hazy sunshine there along the coastline, occasionally peeking out at our live cameras beyond the, we can kind of see the edge right there. Looking outside, it looks like a hazy kind of a mostly cloudy sunshine. Donna, thank you for watching. Michael, glad you're watching. Shay, thank you. That means a lot. William wants to know when fall temps are getting here. I would say October. Nowhere near close to really getting fall temperatures, but October, is typically when you get your first decent cold front in there, and we'll be watching out from that. Marie, hopefully I pronounced your name correct. I'm sorry if I didn't. Is watching from Blackshear. Glad to have you. Dry out there as well. Hopefully you're soaking up the decent conditions out there and enjoying your Thursday, your Friday Eve. Reminder, going back to the afternoon forecast, you have an isolated rain chance today. But it is just that. It is isolated. 20% chance of rain. A little bit questionable whether stuff even develops, and even if it does, it'll be isolated, pinned up kind of near the coastline. It's going to struggle to move inland today. I think a mostly dry day, but if you see those clouds building up in the isolated spots, maybe in your neck of the woods, just check in with us. WTOC weather app there is radar always there. Hey, Linda, thank you for watching. Marie, thank you for watching as well. Different Marie, maybe. And again, I appreciate all of your viewership. Means a lot. Glad to have you. Time now 11:19. Going to pull up the 7-day forecast again. And we're going to look into this weekend because, of course, that's where everyone's focus on this Thursday is probably already going. Rightfully so. It's been a long week for some folks, I bet, and the weather is not looking too bad out there for outdoor activities. Isolated to scattered rain Friday, looking downright scattered, so a little bit more rain around on your Saturday. Friday isolated to scattered, and then trending back downward. So here's the trend. Upward rain chances heading into Saturday, peak Saturday, then downward rain chances into a Sunday. And next week, as it looks now, and of course things can undergo some subtle changes. High pressure building in. That means sinking air, means going to put the kibosh, on rain chances and send temperatures a little bit warmer in the low to mid 90s. Hey Scott, thanks for watching. And hope everyone, wherever you're watching from, is doing well out there. Again, forecast next 7 days, I mean, it's pretty much status quo. Trough of low pressure, rain chances, ridge of high pressure building in, lesser rain chances, hotter temperatures in the low to mid 90s. So I'm going to let some questions come in because I'm sure we're having some questions or some thoughts, I should say, about the hurricane season. And we're looking way out here, folks, but there are some signs as we head into September, not too abnormal climatological peak of hurricane season. We may see conditions become a little bit more favorable across the Atlantic Basin as a whole. For some tropical development, and some of that is related to oscillations and things going on a very big scale. But even though they're big, they're kind of hard to predict. So, gonna end like I began this live digital newscast, weather forecast with the tropics. Going to the Atlantic first. Tropical wave, I'm going to turn satellite on here for you. This may help give you an idea. And I know we were talking about these tropical waves, and I was saying none of them are really that impressive. And in reality, they're not. There's a little bit of broad rotation here, area of low pressure, but no single one of these is just like, whoa, that's super organized. It's going to be crazy when it gets into the Atlantic. We're not looking at anything like that. But we do have an area of low pressure here, broad rotation, excuse me, moving to the west. And it will be emerging into conditions that are slightly more favorable for a tropical development here. Though with the most recent update from the Hurricane Center, they have lowered the risk of tropical development down to 10% within 5 days. Really, it's going to be heading off to the west and west-northwest, as these typically do, kind of at a relatively low longitude there, and it'll be moving into conditions eventually that may foster some development. So simply, this is a casual, we're keeping our eyes on it for you, nothing to worry about, but we're watching it. Yes, you may read about it on Facebook, you may see it during the newscast. This is what we're talking about, and it may head generally west and west-northwest as these waves typically do this time of year. Sue says cooler in the yard this morning mowing grass. Glad you took advantage of it. And hey, Sue, now that you've knocked that off your list of things to do, tomorrow, mowing the grass, you don't have to do it, but it's feeling even nicer, so you can just sit out, enjoy that hot cup of coffee maybe. Vivanel, shout out from the borough, shouting out to you here in West Chatham, up in Statesboro. You're dry today, and highs in the 80s today, and humidity relatively low today. Ashley up in Springfield, similar for you. We're going to go ahead and keep your forecast dry today up in Springfield. Temperatures in the 80s, humidity not too bad, mixing out some of that moisture as we get into the afternoon hours. Caitlin, the weekend, do you know if rain is coming in the morning or afternoon? Caitlin, very good question. Isolated morning rain, meaning less rain. Scattered afternoon rain, meaning more rain. So this is your classic summertime pattern where isolated showers in the morning, primarily coastal areas, and then expanding and increasing a little bit as we get into the afternoon, Caitlin. But no weekend day, Saturday nor Sunday, Friday as well, is going to be a washout. Just a scattered rain is going to be around in the forecast. And something we'll be updating you on. Of course, updates in the WTOC weather app will be sending out those videos. Chief Meteorologist Dave Turley already in the house, and he tends to record those right after the noon newscast, sending those out. You can also catch the noon newscast here coming up here in about 35 or so minutes. Not only on TV, but if you're at the office, at school, wherever you are, of course, kiddos, don't pull out your phones. You can catch the new newscast by streaming it in the WTOC News or Weather app. So on that note, I'm going to let Dave Turley take over. He'll have the updated first alert forecast for you, live look at radar, updating you on what the cloud conditions are, if any showers are developing, and your hour-by-hour outlook, as well as another peek at the weekend coming up here on the news at noon. Wishing you all a wonderful rest of your Thursday afternoon.